The good news is that the rain in Northern Ireland has eased, but in 24 hours there was 3 inches of rain in County Down, which led to the flooding. Now it looks likely that Northern Ireland will miss the worst of the rain from Storm Ciarán as it arrives in time for Thursday, but with rain elsewhere, saturated ground, there's going to be some further flooding, and the damaging winds are likely to be in the far south. There is an amber wind warning from the Met Office.
Hello there, good afternoon to you. There's more rain on the way, I'm afraid. A few showers this afternoon, followed by longer spells of rain this evening. This afternoon we will see some sunny spells, but they won't stick around for too long. Remember, we did have that clock change over the weekend.
Right, bad weather is on the way. Sally is here now, though. And Sally, those weather warnings are getting a bit more serious now, aren't they?
They are, I'm afraid. What's interesting, Ciarán, is that we've been talking about Storm Ciarán for a couple of days. It's only just started to form, but because it's a deepening area of low pressure, as it comes towards us, we're going to, by Wednesday night and into Thursday, see these very strong winds developing and heavy rain as well moving through. And that's why we've got these weather warnings in place. Now, we've got yellow warnings for rain and wind, but the further south and east you live, that's where you've got amber warnings. And you could see even stronger winds there. We're talking about potential for localised flooding, trees down, maybe power outages and travel disruption. It's also worth noting that this could potentially go a little bit further north, which means more of us will see those stronger winds. But on the other hand, it could go slightly further south. We'll have a little bit more clarity on that probably tomorrow morning. Hello again and a very good evening to you. So if you've just been listening, you'll know that all eyes are on Storm Ciarán moving through tomorrow night and into Thursday, where we've got warnings in place for very strong winds and heavy rain. Do keep an eye on the forecast and go to the Met Office website if you want more information on those warnings.
October has ended with yet more heavy rain, indeed some flooding across many parts of Northern Ireland. And as we head into the start of November, well, there's more rain in the forecast, but also for some, the chance for some strong and damaging winds, thanks to Storm Ciarán, which will be making its arrival during tomorrow night and on into Thursday. That we have this really deep area of low pressure. This has been named Storm Ciarán by the Met Office. And the risk of damaging winds is most likely in the south of the UK. Met Office amber warnings already in force. Inland spots could see gusts of around 70 miles per hour. Some exposed coasts, gusts of 80 miles per hour or a touch more. And although not covered by Met Office warnings, the Channel Islands could see gusts potentially of 80 to possibly 90 miles per hour. We're talking about damaging wind gusts, certainly a lot of disruption, and on top of that, some really heavy rain across parts of England, Wales, southern Scotland, maybe just fringing into eastern parts of Northern Ireland, rain in places where we really do not need it.
With all we need to know. We're underdressed, clearly.
Yes. Good evening. Good evening to you. It's going to turn quite stormy this week, as you've been hearing already. Overnight on Wednesday into Thursday, Storm Ciarán is on the way. Heavy outbreaks of rain accompanied by strong winds for us. We're looking at gusts of around 40 to 50 miles per hour. But today wasn't too bad. We had some decent spells of sunshine around. Beautiful autumnal shot here. But as the day progressed, particularly by the end of the afternoon, it really did start to cloud over. Remember, whatever sunshine we do get it now really doesn't last too long. With the clocks going back last weekend, the sun did set around at 4:30 this afternoon. So through tonight, we are expecting some heavy, potentially some thundery rain. It is going to stay quite cloudy too. So because of all that unsettled weather, the Met Office have issued several weather warnings. There's more information on those warnings on the BBC weather website and how they may affect you.
I mean, it's not looking good, is it? Because we're already reeling from the last one.
It is, yeah, it is worrying, obviously. You know, the remnants of storm event are still kind of in place in some parts of the country, particularly in the north. This storm is going to be focused across the south, but I have to point out that the accuracy of the warning by the Met Office have been spot on. So please do take heed, do listen to them. They will save lives ultimately. Let's take a quick look, actually. This is Wednesday, the warnings that are going to be in place. Obviously, we've got that one up across Northern Ireland, also across some southern parts of Scotland, but also down across the south is where the rain and wind warnings do kick into place on Wednesday. But if we fast forward to Thursday, they get worse. We're going to see amber warnings kick into place. And this is where, as Fred said, we could get gusts up to maybe 90, 95 miles per hour along that south coast. They are worried about storm surges. I would really advise people to stay away from coastal roads, particularly along this south coast throughout Thursday morning and into the afternoon, actually. Let's take a quick look at this storm and see where it's all coming from and where it's going to be heading to. Well, we're expecting the current track of Ciarán to be heading towards us and then mostly affecting the south. But there are some concerns that if this storm makes its way a little bit further north, it could be very impactful indeed. It certainly is going to pack a punch anyway. And as you can see, heading towards the weekend, it doesn't get a great deal better. More areas of low pressure, and the chances are that we will see more warnings issued in the coming days. Well, this storm is going to be developing as we head through the next 24 hours, and we are expecting gusts between 80 and 90 miles per hour along the south coast. But even as we come a little further inland, gusts of between 50 to 60 miles per hour are possible, and that will certainly cause some impact as we head through the next couple of days. So we're going to know a lot more this time tomorrow. It will be knocking on the door of the southwest.